Alright guys, how's it going? Sean Darling here. Of course. Who else would it be? I'm just going to be working on an original character that I've got here in Moho that I'm just going to do a trace over the sketch and hopefully be able to break him down into his animatable parts and then eventually get him to walk left and right, up and down to add him as an enemy in the little game I'm making with the Pog character, the little mushroom guy. So I'm just gonna start working on that now, and hopefully it will come out well. I'm just gonna yak while I work, so don't mind me. Nothing too grand to say. Wondering if I'm going to go about this mostly probably in point mode. Oh, hang on, I got to get my tablet working here. For some reason it's not. Maybe that's a good sign that it's possibly maybe the drivers are updated. We'll see. It says my device is disconnected, so that can't be good. It's definitely connected to my computer, so only during a live stream, guys. Only during a live stream. Tell you what. Unfortunately, I don't know which one of the bat this is. It is going to be this guy. There we go. Don't know what happened. My USB hub's been kind of crapping out, so let's just get our working area set here, which it finally is now. And you never know. Hopefully the pin will now, or you know, at least work as well as it has before. I'm just gonna check it for the heck of it. We've still got no, what do you call it, pressure sensitivity, but that's fine. I knew that already. Okay, let's just get back to work here. Undo some of these marks, and on my layer 1 I'm just going to lay out the head and use our points tool here. Start making some points here, and yeah, I'm probably going to do this whole shape, since the particular shape of him just kind of says that's a good idea. Of course, Moho's got its infamous lag going now, which is really annoying. When it doesn't do that, it's literally the best thing in the world, and then it's not. Alright, so we do have that together. Yeah, Greg, he might come on here. Friend of mine who also has does animation. Been working a lot of stuff, but he also has been having some problems with Moho, he said. Crashing, and I don't know, I think the new updates maybe aren't getting as much attention as they need. I hope that's not the case, because it's my favorite 2D animation program in the world, and we need it to continue to be good. And sometimes when companies get a little more money under their belt, they just forget about why they did it in the first place. Hopefully that's not the case with them. No other companies mentioned here that start with a big letter A. I won't say anything. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and create a shape here for our head. It's going to be basically this. We are going to let's go ahead and just do a fill and stroke for both of it for now. And there we go. And so this right now is just like a gray shape. I'm going to just kind of pick a sort of palish, sort of kind of drabby green, and see how that goes. Not minty, that's for sure. Maybe something a little more like that. Something that'll show up in the game. Now, it'll look more like this, so we'll probably make it maybe lighter or darker. We'll see. Alright, so with that, I think I'm going to draw a few hairs on it here with our lovely tool. And instead of just making a bunch of individual hairs, I'm going to do a couple just kind of down the, whoops, what happened there? Just kind of down the side here, maybe a couple, over here if the pen will work properly. And then, obviously, some little throughout bits. And this is mainly, like I say, headlines and stuff, not eyebrows. Just some additional pieces. I'm going to do a few beard hairs here. And yeah, I don't know why Moho goes on this, starts having this issue. And it may be because of the internet. It could be, all kinds of things. I don't know. Sometimes it's because of the resolution of the file at the moment, I think. Sometimes it's about caching my video card, the graphic cache or whatever. So I'm going to go to the project settings here real quick and just, it seems to work better at a 1080 resolution. Not sure exactly why. I think it's just not an odd resolution for my screen size or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's not a size that's native to my card. It's a quadro, but still, quadros are meant more for 3D than 2D, but still. And if you turn off GPU caching, sometimes it's better. So we'll see. All right, so with that looks pretty good for the head. I might throw a couple extra lines in there, but for now I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. You can see this is where we're at on it, so not bad. I'm probably going to lighten up that color and then maybe make a shadow here. So let's go ahead and grab the shape of the head here. I'm just going to go a decent bit lighter on the color overall. So he'll look more like that, which I dig. Okay, cool. With that, I'm going to grab this little point, or a couple of points. At least this point right here, it's like an individual. Just got a tap out of it, I guess, for some reason. Get rid of him. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and now maybe add in some hair pieces. I don't know. I don't mind having individual hairs. I just don't want to have to play with them over and over again, So another way you can handle that is not do individuals, but just come in here and do this kind of thing. Sometimes that works as well, and it looks more sketchy to have that done, but it can be a bit of a pain if it gets in the way. This is all like relative, so this we're going to call, let's just call this head for now, and we're going to add another Victor, and this is going to be his ear, right? And we're going to put this behind the head because both of them at the moment are anyway. If you guys are watching, say hello. And we're just going to go ahead and throw out this ear shape. I'm adding way too many points probably. Somebody's going to call me on that eventually. And let's go ahead and make the shape here. I could turn on my auto fill and stuff. I might do that this time. So let's go ahead and fill this because I am going to be filling everything I'm doing and probably leaving a stroke on for almost everything I'm doing tonight. So it wouldn't hurt us to have that on. Okay, so there we go here. That little lag that's really kicking my butt again. You're gonna hear me complain a lot about it. And Kat, if you get up on that mixer right now, you are going outside. Walk away. Is there anything they can distract her with? cats. Don't have a cat. Don't have pets. Come on, walk away. Walk away. Okay. So, like I said, we can come in here and change the shape of all those and the thickness of all of those. At any rate, we are working on the ears, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a few internal lines here. I like to draw as many of these as I can. However, sometimes it can cause issues. The way, like if you have your auto weld on, stuff like that. So be careful about that kind of stuff. Okay, you need to go. First time the cat ever listened to me. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead. Again, I guess maybe make the earrings on the same layer, but I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and add those in on at least one extra layer so I don't have to cut them off of a different one. And I'm just going to do them all on the same layer. That way I just feel like I have a little more control over them before I don't even know what I'm saying. That cat gets me so out of sorts that I lose all train of thought. If you guys have one, you know what I'm talking about. They're too cute and awesome to wring their necks. And I would never do that. And I don't want to throw her out or get rid of her or do anything like that either. But man, if something could upset you more and teach you patience, yeah, that would shock me, because man, this cat has taught me more about what I'm willing to do and what I keep myself from doing. Just like a kid, I guess, can kind of test your patience and your everything. I have had one, so I can speak from experience. I mean, not physically, personally, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to add in a few, get that there. We are going to go ahead and throw the shape into that now that we can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and do both there too. And I think this one needs a bit like a smaller stroke on it. I'm going to go at least down to a 3. The main guy will probably come down as well when we go in and start adjusting stroke width and whatnot. I do not like that phrase. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pick kind of a goldish color, an expected color for, you know, that little earring there. You get the idea. Okay, and let's go ahead and get the rest of his ears. I'll come back to the earrings and stuff, you know, the details after the fact. So let's go ahead and make another layer here, another vector layer. I'm going to put it also behind the head, and this one is going to be called ear left, if you can believe it. And we're going to go in and just go over this one now. The reason why there are more points than you would probably assume I needed is because the cat. No, is because the changing shape. I just kind of want to make sure I have enough points. You can always add them in after the fact, but sometimes, I don't know, I just kind of rather them be there and I can move them around and all goes well. Okay, so that is there. And I lied to you guys. I keep saying I'm going to turn on my auto fill and stuff, and I don't. But let's go ahead and select this. And yeah, good to go there. We have the earring color in there, so what I need to do is come back, kill my cat. Let's see, undo this. We're going to try to, what am I doing? Sample my head color here. I'm not on my other screen. I'm only on this one, so I have to do it this way. I'm just going to copy that color. Oh my gosh. And this ear is going to receive that color. Let's go. The left ear, Sean. And we'll just go in here and paste that in. So there we go. Let's go ahead now with that left ear. Everything's good. And I'm going to turn on my image again. And draw my lines here. And that's okay, I think, for the most part. Worry about the earrings later. Oops. And I keep forgetting that it's just right clicking to move. I keep wanting to use the middle mouse button because of all the other software. Okay, where are we at? So we have the ears. Could you put her in the bathroom or something for me, please? She does this thing where if I'm talking to the computer, she walks around the house meowing like crazy. She gets on the mixer. She scratches my screen. It's insane. I feel like she needs a kennel that I can stick in the other room at any time, but I don't want to be cruel. Okay, so we have the ears. We have the head. We could start working on some face pieces here. So let's make another vector layer. This is going to go above the head, of course. And I'm just going to rename that. Let's go do the nose first. So just going to call that nose. And I'll possibly draw this. And something else I forgot to tell you guys about, unless you already knew it, this head layer, if you look, it's got, decent amount of points. I hand did those. Anything else, though, that's going to have drawn points, we can go in here and reduce, and sometimes we absolutely have to. That one doesn't look so bad. Some of the little corners are turned. But things like the earring, okay, I did that one by hand. By the point method. Let's see, and then this ear, you can see right here, look at all those freaking points, right? We don't want those. So we take our little point reduction there and just rub it over, and that's good to go. That would be a nightmare to have to go in and, sort out. This one has one extra. That's the only thing about that pen tool that's a bit of a pain, is you do have to go back and edit it, or you have to set it very smooth. And sometimes that's kind of defeating the purpose too. Yeah, it's just a big back and forth. Welcome to software. Okay, that's the ear. That ear. Where'd my points go here? There we go. Back on that ear. Then we come in here and... why is that going away? That is different. I'm just going to delete that point at least. Okay. Looking good there. Yeah, that's weird that you are going to do point reduction. Oh, now it comes on. Sure, thanks. Oh, I see. I was clicking on the scatter brush. We don't need that. Cool. So now on this head, you can see there are quite a few little lines like this. Most of these look good. I think I may or may not adjust just a couple of these before we get on that nose. Let's see here. I think I was adjusting my jaw there. Don't want to do that either. You just want to click and make sure you're not click on anything before you go in here and move this stuff around. Just the stuff you want, obviously. And you can always snap stuff to each other or whatever, especially if auto weld is on, like so. You hear that telltale click when that happens. Sometimes you don't want it to happen, like what just happened there. I'll keep those separate. Yeah, the curves probably need to come out of quite a bit of this stuff, you can tell. Okay, anyway, that looks okay for the moment. And then, yeah, I wish they had like a smoothing brush, something you could hold shift and rub it over and it straighten your curves out. Wouldn't that be amazing? You'd think that would be in this curve brush. It's not. It's got everything else though. Okay, let's go ahead and start on the nose. I'm just going to keep talking and talking until we can't. If you're watching, say, hey, ask me a question. Tell me I look like the Plinky Plinky man from Walk Off the Earth. Whatever you want. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and draw this nose. There we go. And I'm just going to come in and give this a little once over. Like, oops. Yeah, I'm getting that lag, and it just really kills me. I think it's because I'm recording, or streaming, but it usually doesn't do it, and it has been doing it lately. I honestly think it's a driver problem on their end. Of course, it's on their end. I'm not going to blame myself. All right, let's just do a little this. Let's go ahead and take our, oh man, what was the key? Is it the one that allows me to adjust my size? There it is. It is Alt. I remember this is Victor saying the Alt key. Press the Alt key. Got a funny voice. Okay, cool. So we'll just stop there on that. Let's go ahead and do the little couple of these in the top. I'm gonna make sure I don't have single things done like that. So if you guys are out there, say hello. I'm seeing that a few people have watched or are watching. I can't tell until I know. I don't know. Okay, this is getting annoying with this lag. Okay, cool. There's that. Let's go ahead and bring that up just slightly. That's a little too much. Maybe there. All right, so I'm going to simplify as much of this as I possibly can as well, because I don't want to have to move 4 billion points for a 2D animation, especially if something a bit, in that silly style. You want to, you're not doing a Da Vinci painting here. Maybe you are. Okay, and now with the nose, I probably should go ahead and make some kind of surround or something like that on it. And sometimes I will go through here, and now I'll have to separate these. You'll see once they're there. And we'll just click these so I have a closed shape, if that makes sense. Like so. That is not a closed shape, though. And I'll find my bonding shape here. Let's just find a couple of these that didn't go. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one. See if those will weld. I guess not. All right, so that is at least a closed shape for the most part. And what I'm going to do is come over and make a shape. Look at that. We missed one right here. But what we're going to do is click on Connect and Create anyway, which I probably just should have done. Let's show you what that does. I'm going to get rid of those little connections I just made because they do kind of screw up my lines. And what we're going to do is just everything selected here. Hopefully this works. I'm going to grab at least the ones I want to connect, like this. That's good. And then we go to the Create Shape. I'm just going to do, let's do both. We might get double lines, we'll find out. And I'm going to go Connect and Create. It will connect all those together, make that shape, and then, of course, when we turn off our drawing, we get this. And it looks like some of them are messed up. I can kill that line and add it there, but if we turn off the head, you can see it tried to fill it in the way we sort of wanted. So what I'm going to do is just connect a couple of these up the way I want them. And I don't know why that didn't weld, but let's go ahead and get a little closer. Don't be shy. Yeah, that's not auto clicking there, which is kind of surprising me. So what I'm going to do is grab that point and snap it myself. also going to add a point right at the, I don't know if that'll work though. You know what you can do is take the eraser and, whoops, gosh, what the heck, man. So yeah, this line really here needs to be connected to like right here. And for whatever reason, it's not trying to auto connect, which is disturbing to say the least. Moho is great. It does have a couple of funky things about it. And we're going to move this point to right here and delete this other line once I get the opportunity. I don't know that I can just delete a line though, can I? Erase though, you know, hopefully that will work this time. Let's turn off the head so we can see what we're doing. Just go boop, and yeah, no. Gosh, man, gosh, let's undo everything. Sad, so sad. There we go. Redo once because I had a little mark down there I added. So I'm going to do this manually, apparently. And so the connect and create does work, but evidently not when I need it to. Okay, there's that. And then there is this one that seems to, let's make sure it bonded. Yeah. And then there's two right here. These really do need to be connected at some level. So I'm just going to take these and go boink. There we go. Look at that. And then these here and these here. Hopefully not with a line, hopefully. And if they don't connect, that one did. We're going to double check that this one did. Looks good. So now we can fill in, whoops, with this one as well, right here. You can see how it messes up your line sometimes though. So I'm going to have to go back and adjust that curve at the bottom. Yeah, if you guys are watching, say hello, ask me questions if you know about this, if you don't know about this also. It's a cool, very cool, amazing program that's got a really, really, really good following, you know, good community behind it. Okay, so with that now, I will go ahead and do this the manual way. It looks though like I'm still got something messed up. It's got to be that little guy right there. Look at that. Jeez. Okay, so we'll just take that one now. Move it until we get the lock. And that one did, making sure these are, we'll try again. And we'll get this. I'm just going to try and grab these. I'm not sure why they're not all selecting together as if they were a shape, but it just could be the nature. There we go. So now I'm just going to go do both on these, I guess. Create. Looks good. I just want to make sure I don't get double lines. And sometimes you do. So I'm going to turn that off. Yeah, see these lines here. Kind of what I didn't want. So turn this back on. We delete those. Oh, never mind. Those are just the ones that we can see with our lines turned on. My bad. Hang on. Let me just see what I can get away with. Also, you need to take these lines that are being invisibled right here, invisoed status, and I'm going to need to take those and raise them up a layer. They're on a layer already, but I need to raise them up a level within their layer. So I go to the draw menu now, and we're on frame 0. These are not doing that way. So I'm going to grab the shape of the nose here, this, and edit. We're going to push that one back on draw. That's not going to work for me either unless I'm actually clicking a full shape here, which it doesn't seem like. Okay, there we go. Edit, draw, lower to back. There we go. And then now, hopefully, yes, everything is as it should be. So anything that you wouldn't want a line for, you got to come in here now and just tell it, hey, no line there, no line there, none here, and none there, please. and everything's good. If you even want to, you can go in and take out this little tiny one that it made. We'll never notice that, especially because it's still pretty much right up against it. But if you wanted that separate, you could have that. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that really looks like it should be. And I think that's fine for the moment. Looks like Yoda's ugly dad. Okay, cool. So we have this done. The nose is actually drawn. Dun dun dun. Okay, so with that, I think I'm gonna just check and see what needs to be done here on this hair. Overall, it's okay. I might go in here with the curves and just make these a bit more sharp, just overall. And I'll just grab a different set here with my thingy, and then let's make these a little bit more sharp as well, since we hand drew those, which is fine, but sometimes I don't want them to look as squiggly. You can also come in and where you already have done this, make these more smooth as well. And if it, look at this is all off kilter, just re-hit this button, boink, and it evens that right back out. Same here, smooths that all back out because you want that one smooth, let's say. Some of these get too sharp, blah blah blah. So like that one I accidentally did. And you just go in and you just reselect the stuff you want to be sharp and not. So I'm just going to grab these and that here. And then there's a cool shortcut. You can go Control P to peak those. And ones you want round, you do a Control M. Thanks to, I can't remember the name of the person who said it now, but thank you for pointing that out to me. I can only remember 3,000 names a day. All right, so let's see. This, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these little extras here. I think I accidentally snapped that together. So we're just going to kill that one. And I don't think we need that business in the back. So really easily you could take your, and hopefully I'm not being a liar here, you can take your brush, your eraser, and just kind of cut through some of this. Let's make our eraser 0.01 though. 0.001, my bad. And I can just use it at a small size to make a little cut. That will allow me to go ahead now and delete some of those endpoints that normally it wouldn't, because they are creating a loop. And we just want to, you can grab them like this and just start pushing delete, and it'll, whoops, not the whole thing though, huh? And it'll start getting rid of the specific one. There we go. So much better. So the cleanup, you know, we'll save that for a rainy day kind of thing. Let's go ahead in here now, turn on our image again, and start drawing out stuff for, let's do the mouth. I'm going to draw a closed mouth for now, but eventually I will make this an open mouth. You guys may or may not be here when we do this. It could happen right now. We'll see. So what I want to at least do is draw this bottom lip. Let's just do it with the freehand tool on a new layer. And we're going to call this bottom lip. You see I'm already leaning toward doing that open mouth right now. Okay, bottom lip. And I'm just going to draw a line that comes through like so. And if we want, obviously we can go through here and adjust its width and so forth. If, yeah, there we go. Computer cooperates, which is not. Come on, what are you doing? There we go. And you can thicken this up as needed, thin out the points, the end, blah, blah, blah again. Yeah, I'm getting a little hesitation here and there. I don't know if it's because Huion, who makes this monitor, updates their stuff too often or what. Every time I restart my computer, I get like an update for the little monitor here, but it's a 24. But nothing ever gets fixed, so I don't know. I really don't. Okay, so bottom lip. Let's stop talking and start working. With that, I'm going to go ahead and draw just some of these little mouth ends. I keep hearing all this weird sighing from the other room, and I'm wondering if everything's okay. Probably not. I mean, more than likely. Let's see, I'm just going to go like so and fatten up this line. Let's take this one. See, I really think that also this line width tool, and most of them, when you click on a line, you shouldn't have to switch back to don't select anything, now switch to this tool, now do the thing with it. Because it's a little less like Photoshop and a little more, I don't know, it's just troublesome. I love this tool, but at the same time, see, like that only selects the one dot. I have to go select nothing, or even take my move tool, move tool, and then select something, and then come back over here and redo the size. It doesn't just automatically swap out the whole line, which is a bit of a bummer, and so I get a little discombobulated with selecting and deselecting, and it becomes a rhythm after a while, but man, it's tiring, you know? I could have so much more energy at the end of my day if I could move my arms 50 times instead of 300. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's the bottom lip. We do have to make some kind of shape out of it, which I could have done and erased the line. Probably should have done it that way. That's okay, because we can still do it retroactively. I'm just going to come in, kind of make a shape like this. It's just going to be pretty much for that lip. There's no other purpose for this. I'm going to click it in, make the entire shape. I'll probably have to erase those lines that are going to be made. So let's just try fill only and see if it takes away our lines, which I don't think it did, but I also don't want those as separate things on my shape. You know what I mean? Like these look like separates now, and I don't really want that, but I mean, it's fine. It's just not what I wanted. So I have to select that line separately now, I guess. Interesting. So that is there. Let me make sure it is in fact a shape. It doesn't seem like it filled though, so I'm going to go ahead, turn off my head layer, and I guess it did fill it. And I'm going to turn off my tracing image here, and I'm just going to try and select, see how this is not, that's a separate shape, and I want to have those joined together. Can you do J to join them? I don't know. I'm going to click off of them now, and I'm going to re-click and see. Nope, you cannot. So if I select both, maybe right click, maybe edit, clear, select, inverse. There should be like a merge, right? So draw, shapes, peak, smooth, obviously, scripts, layer stuff. I thought it might be in there. Yeah, I thought there was like a merge shape. I just came across that today in, oh, you know what? There is a merge shape. Am I a fool or what? It's called liquid shapes. You can Boolean right over here at the top of your screen, but I don't know that I can do that with what I've got selected, because this is just a stroke and not a solid thing. So good question, but you can see if I select this and this, and then Yeah, see, it doesn't select them separately. That is a bummer. I would have to somehow include this, you know, in the other, and it just doesn't do that. So, bummer. That's all right. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that shape I made there. And I'm going to make a new shape that attaches, but this time I will go ahead and say, you know, yes, let's do the let's go ahead and do what you call it, the stroke and the fill. We'll see. So with that selected here, like this, it still doesn't seem like it's selected, does it? Okay, we've got this selected. Nope. Wow. Okay. That is selected. This is also selected. We're going to go into create shape. Both of those are selected. We're going to go with both. I'm going to say create shape and pray that it does do that. And I don't think that it did. I'm going to try and delete the lip shape real quick just to see. It is definitely a separate shape, I think. Unless that's just a thick stroke around there that I'm not seeing. So let us try to... Can you hide the shape? Draw. Hide shape. Yeah, see, it's not a part of it. Interesting. So that's what I want to do, is select this front one here real quick. Yeah, we're going to undo that. I'm going to have to go in and delete. And it's weird because if I move these ones that we just created that shape off of, it acts like it's the same shape, you know? Weird. I'm not sure what you have to do to get that to unmake that shape now. Because I don't know. I really don't know. And if I do stroke and create, it's going to wind up making two separate pieces. So you got, you know, that, you got this, you know what I'm saying? It's going to have this shape and this shape. And as far as I know, there is no way to make the two marry each other. And I was thinking, well, liquid shapes, but it's not an actual shape. You know what I mean? It's a stroke, so it doesn't work. Who knows? So I might have to redraw that mouth. Let's just do that. I'm tired of wasting time. So I'm just going to grab here. I heard you. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to turn this back on. And we're just going to redraw this all together. Yeah, why waste time whining about it? And I'm just going to come around. And now I'm going to go like this to kind of make that shape all in one go. Then I can adjust things, obviously, as we need. But what a pain, right? I mean, to have to do it that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a whiner, but it just seems a little impractical to me to do it like that. Okay. Got kind of in a pseudo-political argument with my mother the other day. So maybe I am a whiner. She would definitely call me a whiner right now. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and make the shape. And then we will fill that in. Let's just do both. We will hide the lines we don't want. And when we're here, we make sure that that got both. I don't think it did. Hang on. Looks like it just did stroke. This says both, though. Create the shape. I think maybe we are not connected. That's what it is. Check it. Okay, so once again, let's undo that making. And let's just move this guy right here. Snap it together. I'm going to go ahead and readjust my points I had messed with previously. Now we can make the shape, for crying out loud. We're going to do both. We're going to say yes. It did make it, thank goodness. I don't think I could handle it if it didn't this time. And I'm just going to start coming in here and getting rid of the extra lines that shouldn't be there. Like so. Okay, cool. Now we have that, and we have this. So we can now get these lines going. There's a couple ways you can do that, but the easiest way is just come in here, select those lines. Not those lines, but just the outside ones or the inside ones. And once you have those all selected, you just go back to create shape. Just click on stroke, say create shape, and they're good to go. We can adjust their thicknesses or whatever we want from there. All right, so now that we have that, let's turn the head back on, make sure everything is in the proper order here. Okay, looking great. And then now I'm gonna make the upper lip. I'm gonna worry about the teeth, in a bit. If you guys are watching, say hello. I definitely appreciate it, and it always feels good to know somebody's actually alive and truly watching, and not just letting their computer or phone run in the background. And drinking a little tea tonight as well. Okay, so the top lip, I'm going to go in and put behind the nose layer, and behind this bottom lip layer, because it needs to roll up in front of that. But it needs to be behind the nose. So right above that layer, I'm going to jump in, and we're going to call this top lip. And there's going to be a lot of assumptions I'm making with this top lip because we can't really see it as to what it will look like when the mouth opens. So I'm going to just do this with the pen tool. I'm going to go kind of behind the lip here, and sort of to the corner, and then up and around, kind of like in a cheek area, behind the nose there, and the same way on this side. And you notice I clicked into the corner though to make sure that that was going to have a way to connect later. Once that's done, I can go over here and make sure everything is selected. We're going to do both for this. I'm going to erase my lines. We're going to say create, jump back down here, and find our lines we don't want to keep again. Just pop those off. It's a pretty thin stroke, so it's kind of hard to see them. But I think I can manage. We want to keep this here because this is essentially the actual top lip that's tucked a bit down behind the other. So that will now, though, go behind this bottom lip layer. So I'm just going to drag it, and it will disappear. We'll deal with it later, though. Okay, with that, we're not going to worry about shading or anything just yet. I'm going to go ahead now and behind the bottom lip layer even, because the teeth have to be inside the mouth. And the top lip has to be on top of the teeth. So right above the head layer, I'm going to make another layer. Vector. We're going to do this, separate these into two spots so one tooth could move independently from the other. I'm going to say tooth. I'm going to put tusk because we might see some top teeth. Tusk right. And might as well call it a tusk, And I'm just going to, looks like I missed a point there. That's okay. I'm just going to kind of draw these and assume, like I said, where the other non-visible parts are. And I'm going to kill my cat again because she's needs to get up on this mixer that she couldn't afford to pay for if her life depended on it. And nor can I if it broke. So there's that.
Bug.
Let's move in here just a little more. I'm just going to try and smooth out or sharpen down, but not too sharp, this particular point. I'm going to move that up here. Cool. Just get it mostly the right way. You better get down. Come on now. please, get down. She's gonna get mad at me and start complaining. She goes, meh, meh, meh.
Come on, bug.
Yeah, she's asking for it tonight. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and do a both, and I'm gonna say create shape. We're gonna come over, and with that tooth selected, now you can see it's behind the bottom lip. It should be in front of, okay, it's behind the top lip. So it should be behind the bottom lip and in front of the top lip. So right now I'm going to drag it up one level and we'll see the whole thing. With that selected, we should have color as well. I'm just going to come up here and drag it to some kind of a bone-ish-esque kind of color. A little more gray, yellow right there. And say okay. We turn off our stuff here and you can kind of see the bases for that right now. It's going well. Okay, somebody said something to me. Let me look. Your camera covers the entire player. Say what? You mean like the entire, oh, where my layer is, or you mean like the entire screen? Because if that's the case, I apologize because, man, that's not good. So are you talking about the layer over there, or does it work if I do it this way? Let me know. Because if that's the case, that would explain why nobody's watching. Could you go on my YouTube channel and check? Cool. Okay, so with that tooth done, and it's not really done, there's no shading and so forth, we're gonna make let's just do a duplicate of it. I'm gonna turn the drawing layer here back on, and I'm gonna make a duplicate of this tooth here. So duplicate layer, and this is gonna be Tusk L. If it looks like that, just show me, okay?
I just see your screen with your green-faced fellow.
Okay, well maybe it was just talking about that it was covering an important part over there. So, hey, I am the most important person in this video. Just kidding. No, you guys need to see what I'm working on too. I apologize for that if it blocked anything. If you have any questions, ask me, and I will go back and tell you what you might be confused about because of my mistake. So we're going to take this layer while it's selected, come down here to the layer selection, and go up here and do a flip. And then I'm going to set the origin properly to approximately there, and just get the tooth in a better spot, rotating, etc. to be similar. And once that's pretty much where it goes, you know, we can just leave it there. That should be pretty good. I got to be careful it doesn't overlap to where when he talks or turns, it doesn't stick out the side of his face, of course. But we saved a bunch of time there just flipping that and duplicating it, because now we don't have to repaint it and so forth. All right, so the thing that's next is going to be eyes and eyebrows. These can be tricky. Not the eyebrows, they're pretty simple, but the eyes can be a bit tricky. So they need to go behind the nose primarily, and above everything else. So right above this bottom lip layer, I'm going to add another vector layer. I'm going to call this eye right. And normally I make all the pieces for this eye separately. And to make this probably less confusing if you're trying to learn, I'm going to automatically group this eye with itself. So basically I'm going to right click and go to group with selection, and we're going to have an eye group now. I'm going to call this eye right, and it's going to have the eye right layer inside of it automatically because we did that. So on that eye right layer, I'm just going to come through here and cut out the shape, or create the shape of the actual eye, where the eye hole is, I guess you'd say. And just do something like this. The reason why I made that round is because when the brows are up, you'll see the eyeball, and when you know they're down, it'll cover like so. So you got to do a lot of assuming of what things look like that you're not able to see. All right, with that done, I'm going to select that shape there. I'm going to just, I'm going to do both. Go ahead and say create shape. And we can use the white that's here. It's the same color as the teeth, but that's okay. Colors are reused all the same time. I mean, all the time. So cool. And with that, we're going to draw the little pupil and everything here to an iris and a pupil. I'm going to make them two separate pieces. I'm going to make the iris and the pupil the same piece, but we're going to make it separate of the eyeball here. And let me show you what I mean. Very simple. I'm going to make another layer. And on that layer, this is just going to be called iris or pupil, either one. I'm going to just call it iris because it's going to be, in this case, flat color. If it wasn't, I would do them in 3 or 4 parts and add a gradient or whatever inside of it. But this is totally fine for something this simple. I'm just going to grab a circle, get the approximate kind of size, and then move it over. Just something like that. That's pretty good. I mean, I got it pretty much right off the bat. And so now we're going to fill this in with, let's do some kind of a green brown, I don't know, something type of happening color there like that. And make sure that that is what we're selected on. I don't think for whatever reason we made our shape. So once we've got this, we'll have both. We'll create shape. There we go. And we come over. I'm still not seeing it. Turn on the stroke. That's why. And the fill is white. So there we go. We're just going to grab this color. I did not get it the first time. So I'm going to do kind of that and say OK. And let's just check that out. Looking okay. And now we need to do our little pupil. So we're going to grab another little circle. And I'm not going to get this too wacky like it is here. I'm going to try and actually keep that inside that iris a little more controlled. Just so it's not too strangely shaped. Because most of this will be affected by... let's just kind of get this more inside of here and less riding that top. I don't care for that all that much now that I think about it. And it's okay if it's not perfect. I like oblong pupils and all that kind of stuff. So not really horribly worried about that. But yeah, I just want to make it separate from there. Let's go ahead and make that a shape. We're just going to use fill because it's just going to be black for now. We're going to fill that. We're going to come over here. I'm going to make sure that is black. I don't see my shape. There it is. I was going to say, I don't see it selected, but it is. We're good to go now. Nice. Okay, cool. So, for the eyeball, when this pupil moves around, it needs to be cut off by the eyelid. Like if it goes under or the eyelid comes down, we need to make sure that's on the inside. And to do that in this group like this, it's the easiest thing in the world because all we have to do, including shadows and everything that we put on the eyeball, all we have to do is go up to this top layer, the group that it's in, double click it, and now that it's in a group, we go up here to masking, and we go hide all, and we come down and say OK or apply. And then on the bottom layer here where that shape was done, we're just going to double click it and go to masking and make sure we exclude strokes so it doesn't get rid of them, and click OK there, so we'll have the strokes. But what's cool now is if we move this iris part around, let me just put an origin in the center to where it's not wacky. When I move this around, you'll see it gets cut off by that that eyelid here. It's easier to see if I do this. See how when it turns now, it's going to be cut off by that eyelid. So very handy. And when the eye blinks, it'll do the same thing if we put lids or whatever. Also, we have no eyeball color per se right now either. It's just showing the background color as far as can tell. So what we need to do is go ahead and throw in an eyeball color. Let me just put my pivot there for that eye shape. We got one for the iris. We're going to put it here for our actual eye group. But right above that eye and behind the iris, I'm going to throw one more layer in there. And this is going to be our eyeball, color. So I'm just going to go eyeball color, or you can just put eyeball. And then I'm just going to make like a circle or whatever. And that will automatically be filled with whatever color you have selected on it, like so. So just fill, we're going to say create shape. It is in there. You can see it right now because it's selected. But when we go back, you can't see anything. And if I was to change the color of that eyeball color just by clicking on it and maybe making it more yellow, right? Something like this, you're going to see that it changes color. The second I click off of it, though, you can see that it's masked perfectly inside the eyeball. So it's a really, really super cool way of doing this. And when, once again, you actually go in and have your eye blink or whatever, let's just show you a quick example. When the eyelid comes down, it actually masks over without any problem. And you can move the eyeball inside of it and everything just fine. So that's how you would set that up. I don't know if you followed me okay, but there you go. So now with that, we can either duplicate this eye over. Let's just kind of see if that's a possibility. I think probably. And if we want to also, just to save even more time, on this bottom cutout eye layer, we can just add another line here for that eye bag. Computer is really kind of taking some pauses, which always, oops, edit redo, which always makes me a little nervous. There we go. And so what I'm going to do is make sure that eye layer is selected. I'm just going to come from somewhere right about here, and now I'm going to make my lines. Yeah, that pause is getting a lot worse. There it is again. And there we go. We click enter. We have that line, but now we need to tell it this line is a shape. So I click on it. I just click on stroke, go to create shape, and there you have it. So also we can come over here and thin it out at the end using that line width tool, thicken it up a little more at this point if we want, and you get the idea. So I like to play with the vary the line width on a lot of this because it looks more hand-drawn as well. Does the camera look like it's in a better place now, or should I just turn it off altogether? Let me know. Some would say turn it off. Cool. All right. So I was just trying to keep it off of the area here. So hopefully that's working for you. Okay, cool. So I can make this even smaller now that I think about it too. Maybe stick it up over here and make it smaller. Let me see. I don't know if that works. Anyway, so you can't please everybody. All right, with that eye layer done here, I'm going to duplicate it right here. And duplicate that layer. We're going to call this eye left. And I never came back. I make that joke every time. And then we're going to come up here and do the flip on it. If I zoom out and move it over now, we have approximately that other eyeball that we can now go in and reshape. Saving about 4 hours of work. No, like 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes, whatever it would take to do it. And mostly we only have to adjust this eye shape on the outside because I tried to align the iris sort of from the get-go. But we're going to now move these into position better. I always kind of move it out of the way to make sure where the point is underneath it, or where it should be anyway. Let's say this one's going to be a little more up here, and it has more of these wrinkles, which make it cool and interesting and original on that side. It's the individual character of that particular eye. And then we can kind of come in here and find the bottom wrinkle and add, another one for that other part here, the other one. Just gonna get these somewhere in place, and then I'll just go back with my add points tool, find another good place to click it in. Make sure you're not too close to the other line because it will snap right to it. So I'm just kind of going somewhere here in between carefully like this. Probably way too many points, but hey, I'm a points person and I like moving too many points around. Let's see. Okay, so with that, we're going to click on that stroke here, and we just want it, and we're just going to create shape. I'm not going to click and connect and create or anything. And now we're going to go out and into our line width tool and start pulling some of these down. Not too much. I mean, you still need some weight to the line for the actual like pencil width, right? Something like that. Okay, just gonna make these a little more manageable. All right, so I think that works. I'm gonna move the iris now just a little bit, and then we'll be good to go. We can move it, size it. I think that's working since he's mostly looking straight on. I like that. Guys, got anything else going on? Cool. Say hello if you like again. All right, so now for browse. Just open your browser. Just kidding. And we're going to go put the browse on top of everything, including the nose, I think. Unless he lifts his head up. So let's probably put it behind the nose. So right above the eye layers, make another vector. I'm going to say brow right. I always start with the right for some reason. It's just, unless it's the one that's turned away if we make a 3/4 view or something. All right. So let's just do like so. And I'm going to draw the outside of this eyebrow as like an entire patch. This helps me already have it ready to go here. There we go. And now it's just a complete shape, and we can go in and add all kinds of other junk to it if we want. So with this, I am going to do a both, stroke and the other. Select the shape here, make sure it's both, and go ahead and create. It is on the top where we need it, and what I'm going to go do is select our hide the line tool there and just start knocking off some of these that we don't want to see later. What's cool now, as you'll see, this does come down and block our eye out. We just need to select the appropriate color. So I'm going to go find my head layer. Oh my gosh. And sample the color from this shape, which is interesting because I think it's actually letting me use my eyedropper. Maybe. Let's just click on like red here or something like this, and then I'm going to see if this will let me use my eyedropper because it wasn't for some time. Maybe it is not. Okay, so never mind on that. We're going to go in anyway to the head layer. I'm going to click on the face color, and I'm going to, of course, copy that. And the reason why it won't let me use my eyedropper is because I'm on the secondary screen, and it's trying to get the color from the first one. Weird, I know. So we're going to copy that color. I'm going to go back to my brow, click on it and come in here and paste that color in. It's just like one more step than having to actually do it with the eyedropper tool, but you get the idea. So he's looking all right. Now we're starting to get more of the character, a little more mean. We've got no shading, so I realize he looks very blah, but we're not going to do tons of shading, just the basics to make sure he has character, if that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and put this image back on, and I'm going to duplicate this brow layer. We're going to call it brow L, and I always rename right away. You don't want 50 layers floating around or more, called layer 1, layer 2. You'll never remember what they're for, and you will be horribly confused and quit. Okay, so with that one duplicated, I'm going to select our layer, give us a origin, and I also suggest making an origin for every layer as you go. That way your stuff is set up less messy and you already know exactly where things are going to rotate and pivot from. So with that selected, we're going to go ahead and flip it over and move it better into position here. And then I'm going to move a couple of points around to make it individual and correct. So with that, let's just get these guys where they go. Yeah, I was thinking about making a kids monster show, not like Monster High, but like, and nothing wrong with that show, but like, you know, something that's a bit, not necessarily boy oriented, but like a little more, you know, monstery, not about glamour and things like that, which is fine. There's plenty of stuff for that. But I think, you know, kind of like as a boy, kind of like the way I knew a lot of boys were about monsters and stuff growing up. So that's why I said that the way I did. I think I just moved the entire head layer. I did. We didn't want to do that. Okay, so with that fixed, I'm going to deselect everything here and pull these a little better to where they go. Start thinking a little bit about cleanup, you know. So we're in the middle. Okay, and then let's take this one and the other one. We can give these just a slight taper on the ends for the eyeball. I'll bet you that was my keyboard going out. And let's see. Eyebrow left. We can just kind of thin that one, bring this one up a bit. I like these fatter lines through here. A little bit lesser and lesser as we get toward the end there, like that. The other brow, I'm just going to swing over, swing over and thin out that side a bit, thicken up these a good amount, and then maybe thin down, not horribly, but just a little. Gives him a little more character. I also am wondering if I should do more under the eyes. We could do that with color if we wanted to. So there we go. And then now to decide how we're doing these eyebrows. I think they're going to be solid because there's no reason to do a whole bunch of lines here just because the sketch had a bunch of lines. So I think on this brow right, I'm just going to make another shape here that will lay on top of this one. And I don't put this on the line because I want this to sort of not weld to it, if that makes sense. Just want it to, there we go, be positioned close to it once I get everything done. I'm going to turn auto weld off though for now so that these don't bond. Oh, it looks like they already did. Crud. So we're going to undo back to that point. There, it looks like there was two of them. And I'm just going to come back around, making sure that we stay away from there. 1 and 2. And now I can move these around with auto weld turned off and pull these where I want them. I probably should have had autofill on. I keep threatening to do that, and then I just don't do it for some reason. In this case, it would have made this so much faster, where I didn't have to do this every single time I did that. Oh well, you live and learn. Okay, so back to this, and in here, and this can be here. We can add another one right there. I love the fact that you can just drop these points in after the fact. It's very handy. If you didn't get enough, you can go back and grab more. That would be like, you know, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or something. Okay, unless of course you stole a gobstopper or a fizzy lifting drink, and you know, then I tell you, you're in trouble. Okay, let's grab these here. I don't think these might not be. Let me just move this in case they did weld. Are they connected? They are. So we're just going to get that back over there. I'm going to go to here, make sure we have, well, we're just going to do fill on this one and create. So with that, we're going to grab that shape, and we're going to make this, for now, black. And we can always pull that back up out into a different color, but I think for a game character, it's totally fine. All right, so there's the first basis of the first eyebrow. I can go and put some hairs in. Remember, this guy's going to be like 1 or 2 inches tall at the most in the game. Now, granted, we might need him for character art or something like that, but, you know, there's no reason to put 400 levels of detail, you know, on this character that's most of the time going to be 1 inch tall. So now I'll take that piece of that brow, and we're going to copy. So copy. We're going to go over to the brow left, and then we're going to paste. And now it's in that side flipped because the other one was flipped prior as well. So I'm going to grab the points, just kind of adjust them to where they make more sense for this side. Oops, grabbing the wrong one. Just kind of make sure this isn't in the wrong spot. And I really need to get on the get my enemy actions and whatnot going, because I had a little confusion as to how to destroy something once you like picked up a power-up or something like that. And that's the same kind of code you're going to need for killing your enemies. You know, once you've either hit them, or, you know, things collided with them or whatever, bullets or whatever you're going to use, you have to make them go away and have a death animation and so forth. And I got a little confused about how that was done for some reason, even though I've done it before. And yeah, my buddy Greg helped me out. But then I was like, well, how do I apply that to the visual coding? And I think I know, but, you know, it's one of those things I'm just going to have to get beyond. Okay, so far so good. His head looks great in my opinion. Shading and stuff like that will come next, you know. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and go, but thanks for checking it out. I mean, we've been going for about an hour and 20 now. So cool. See you guys later. Have a good night.